Dr. Zara Chen stared at her coffee mug, wondering if the black sludge inside qualified as a biological hazard. 6 months on Deep Space Medical Outpost 47 had taught her that isolation did strange things to coffee makers. And people. The aging medical scanner beeped half-heartedly at her right elbow. Zara gave it a gentle kick, their morning ritual of mutual disdain. Yeah, I know you hate Mondays too. Her AI assistant Medi chirped to life. Dr. Chen, your appreciation for obsolete earth beverages and violence against medical equipment continues to perplex my algorithms. That's because you've never had to work a 12-hour shift with nothing but synthetic protein bars and existential dread, Zara muttered, finally taking a sip. She grimaced. Definitely a biohazard. The emergency alert klaxon chose that moment to shatter her caffeine-deprived contemplation. Red lights strobed across the medical bay as Meaty's voice shifted to urgent mode. Priority 1 distress signal detected. Unknown species. Coordinates indicate origin from unexplored sector 7 Gamma. Zara straightened, professional instincts kicking in despite her exhaustion. Put them through. The holoscreen flickered to life, revealing a tall, crystalline being with geometric patterns rippling across their translucent skin. Their voice came through in the stilted tones of automatic translation. This is High Medical Administrator VRX of the Veridian Collective. We require immediate assistance. Our entire species faces extinction due to widespread organ failure. Our medical technology cannot. The transmission crackled with interference. How many affected? Zara demanded, already pulling up xenobiology protocols. All of us. Every Veridian. Our biomechanical augments are failing simultaneously. Zara's eyebrows shot up. An entire species with synchronized organ failure? That's new. Send me your medical data. The incoming files filled her screen with complex diagrams of crystalline beings with intricate mechanical components integrated into their bodies. Zara's eyes narrowed as patterns emerged in the data. Your civilization's medical advancement is well documented, VRX continued. Though primitive by our standards, perhaps you could. I'm sorry, Zara interrupted. Did you just call my medical knowledge primitive while asking for help with your species-wide organ failure? Medi helpfully chimed in. The Veridian Collective is classified as a Type 2.8 civilization. Their medical technology exceeds Earth standards by approximately 247 years. Thanks, Medi. Super helpful. Zara pinched the bridge of her nose. Administrator VRX, I'll need clearance to examine patients in person. And please send any regulatory forms now so we can begin treatment as soon as I arrive. VRX's crystalline features shifted in what might have been embarrassment. Ah, yes, the regulatory requirements. For a level 5 medical emergency involving a class of civilization, you'll need to complete forms 7249B through 7249Q, obtain signatures from the High Council of Medical Ethics, and people are dying, Zara stated flatly. Yes, but proper documentation is essential for. How long does this usually take? With expedited processing. 3 to 5 standard cycles. Days, Zara asked hopefully. Months. Zara took another sip of her toxic coffee, maintaining direct eye contact with VRX through the holoscreen. Right. Well, I'm coming anyway. Have the forms ready when I get there. Medi, prep the shuttle. Dr. Chen Medi cautioned, violating Veridian regulatory protocols could result in. Sometimes asking forgiveness is better than asking permission, Zara said, already grabbing her medical kit, especially when bureaucracy is trying to kill people with paperwork. The last thing she saw before the transmission cut was VRX's expression of crystal-clear horror at such blatant disregard for proper procedure. Zara allowed herself a small smile as she headed for the shuttle bay. This was going to be interesting. Medi, factor in a 15-minute delay for coffee resupply at Outpost 49. If I'm going to save an entire species, I'm going to need the good stuff. Noted, Doctor. Shall I prepare the standard I told you so speech for when we inevitably end up in a Veridian holding cell? Make it a good one. The Veridian medical facility gleamed with an almost painful perfection. Holographic displays floated everywhere, showing complex diagnostic readings that would make most human doctors weep with envy. Zara found herself wishing for her beaten-up scanner back at the outpost. "Your primitive scanning device is interesting," senior medical specialist Kay Till observed, watching Zara run her handheld diagnostic tool over a patient. "Primitive gets results," Zara replied, studying the readouts. "Unlike your quantum whatever scanners that can't seem to figure out why your organs are failing." Mehdi's voice emanated from her tablet. "Dr. Chen, perhaps antagonizing the advanced alien civilization isn't the best." "Shush, I'm thinking." Zara squinted at the results. "Show me one of the failed organs again." Kay Till gestured, and a suspended biomechanical organ materialized in perfect holographic detail. It rotated slowly, its crystalline and mechanical components catching the light. "We've analyzed it at the quantum level," Kay Till explained. "Every atomic bond, every energy signature." Yeah, quantum everything." Zara waved her hand through the hologram. "Can you show me just the structural layer? No fancy readings, just the physical shape." Kay Till looked offended but complied. The image simplified, and Zara's eyes lit up. "There, see those microfractures? They're everywhere, spreading through the crystalline matrix. Your organs aren't failing, they're cracking." "Impossible," Kay Till scoffed. "Our quantum integrity fields are probably making it worse," Zara interrupted. She rummaged through her medical kit, pushing aside various instruments until she found what she was looking for. Hey. She held up a roll of duct tape triumphantly. The room fell silent. Even the holographic displays seemed to dim in confusion. "What?" Kay Till asked with impressive disdain. "Is that?" "This," Zara declared, "is duct tape, humanity's greatest invention." Mehdi chimed in helpfully. "Actually, Dr. Chen, I believe the wheel, or perhaps antibiotics." "Not now." Mehdi. Zara turned to the bewildered Veridian scientists. "Your organs need structural support while they heal, something flexible but strong, something that can hold the microfractures together without interfering with function." She began unrolling a strip of the silver tape. The Veridians drew back as if she'd produced a deadly weapon. "You propose to repair our advanced biomechanical organs with adhesive strips." The horror in Kay Till's voice was palpable. "Technically, it's pressure-sensitive tape with a rubber-based adhesive," Mehdi offered. "Though I calculate a 93.7% probability that Dr. Chen will ignore this distinction." "Look," Zara said, "your quantum fields can't fix this because they're too precise. They're trying to maintain perfect atomic alignment while the whole structure is falling apart. Sometimes you need a blunt instrument, sometimes you need duct tape." "This is absurd," another scientist protested. "We cannot possibly." "Show me your success rate with current treatments," Zara challenged. The room fell silent again.
"That's what I thought." She held up the tape. "Let me try this on one organ. Just one. What's the worst that could happen?"
"Death," Mehdi supplied cheerfully. "Horrible, agonizing death. Also possible explosion, implosion, dimensional collapse." "Really not helping, Mehdi." Kay Till's crystalline features shifted through several geometric patterns of distress before settling. "The patient would need to volunteer." "I volunteer," came a weak voice from the medical bed. The patient, a younger Veridian, struggled to sit up. "My readings indicate terminal organ failure within 6 hours anyway. I have nothing to lose." Zara moved to the bedside, duct tape at the ready. "Smart kid. Mehdi, record everything. The bureaucrats will want documentation when this works." "When?" Not if Kay Till asked. "Trust me," Zara grinned, measuring out a strip of tape. "This stuff once held my shuttle's hull together during atmospheric re-entry. A few organ microfractures. No problem." "Dr. Chen," Mehdi interjected, "I feel compelled to point out that the shuttle incident you're referring to ended with us being rescued by." "Less talking, more recording." Zara positioned the first strip of tape. "Now, let's show these quantum mechanics fans what a little human ingenuity can do." The assembled Veridian medical staff watched in horrified fascination as their hope for survival came down to a roll of silver tape and a human doctor, with more confidence than common sense. Somewhere in the background, Medi was calculating their survival odds with unnecessary precision. 2 hours later, the young Veridian's vital signs had stabilized. The medical council stared at the readings in disbelief.
Impossible, one counselor muttered. The organ integrity is improving.
Duct tape, Zara said smugly. Never leave Earth without it. I displayed the before and after scans. The pressure-sensitive adhesive is providing structural support while allowing the crystalline matrix to realign naturally, though I feel compelled to note that this solution violates approximately 47 Veridian medical protocols. Only 47? Zara raised an eyebrow. I'm losing my touch. Medical administrator VRX's hologram flickered into existence, geometric patterns shifting in agitation. Dr. Chen, you performed an unauthorized procedure using what Zara challenged, holding up the roll of duct tape. Using the only thing that's worked so far. This is highly irregular, VRX protested. Our regulations require extensive testing, documentation. Your people are dying, Zara interrupted. I've just proven this works. How many more need to die while you file paperwork? The young patient spoke up, their crystalline form now glowing with renewed strength. I was hours from complete organ failure. Now I feel restored. They turned to the council. Why are we debating this? Medi helpfully projected a holographic countdown. At current failure rates, approximately 1,247 Veridians will experience critical organ failure during this debate. The council chamber erupted in geometric patterns of distress.
Fine, Zara sighed, pulling out more duct tape. How about this? I'll treat 10 more patients. Right now, you can monitor everything. But first she tossed the roll of tape to VRX's hologram, watching it pass right through. Learn how to use this.
Learn. How? VRX looked bewildered. It's tape. You peel it, you stick it, it holds things together. Even your quantum computers can handle that, right? The next hour was spent demonstrating proper duct tape application to increasingly amazed Veridian medical staff. Zara couldn't help but grin as she watched crystalline fingers awkwardly manipulate the silver strips. No, she corrected one doctor. You need to smooth out the bubbles. Haven't you ever wrapped presents? What are presents? The doctor asked. Medi interjected, Dr. Chen, perhaps this isn't the time for a lecture on human gift-giving customs, though I have prepared a fascinating presentation on the historical significance of.
Not now, Medi.
As the 10 patients' vital signs stabilized one by one, the mood in the medical center shifted from skepticism to cautious hope. Even VRX's hologram had stopped citing regulations every 30 seconds. The results are undeniable, VRX finally admitted, though our quantum enhancement fields. Sometimes the simplest solution is the best one, Zara said, starting on the 11th patient without waiting for permission. You folks got so caught up in quantum mechanics that you forgot about basic structural support. But it's just. Adhesive strips, K-Till said, still sounding bewildered. Duct tape, Zara corrected. And sometimes that's all you need. Well, that and a doctor crazy enough to try it. I have updated my survival probability calculations, Medi announced. Based on current results, implementing this treatment across the Veridian population would result in a 99.3% recovery rate, though I should note this violates an additional 152 regulations I just discovered. Zara looked at VRX. Your choice, administrator. We can do this by the book and watch your people die, or we can break a few rules and save everyone with some sticky tape and human stubbornness. VRX's geometric patterns cycled through what appeared to be every possible configuration before settling. Begin mass production of this duct tape, immediately. Now you're talking, Zara grinned. Medi, send them the specs, and maybe leave out the part about how humans mainly use this to fix leaky pipes and broken furniture. Of course, doctor. Though I feel obligated to mention that according to my database, duct tape is also commonly used for. Not. Now. Medi. The Veridian Central Medical Facility had transformed into what Zara could only describe as a duct tape factory with delusions of grandeur. Crystalline beings moved in precise formations, carrying rolls of silver tape with the same reverence usually reserved for quantum processors. No, you don't need to sterilize each piece of tape with quantum fields, Zara explained for the 100th time. It's already clean enough. But our protocols, the Veridian medic began, will kill more patients than they save. Just stick it on. Trust me. Midi's voice carried across the medical bay. Dr. Chen's approach to medical procedures continues to alarm and fascinate me in equal measure. The assembly line Zara had created was beautifully simple: diagnose, apply tape, monitor, next patient. The Veridians had initially insisted on adding 16 additional steps involving quantum analysis and documentation, but she'd worn them down to just 3 extra forms per patient. Dr. Chen K-Till called from across the room. I believe we've discovered an optimization. Zara walked over, expecting another suggestion about quantum enhancement fields. Instead, she found K-Till demonstrating a surprisingly efficient taping technique to junior medics. The adhesive bonds more effectively when applied at a 43.2-degree angle. K-Till explained proudly. We've increased success rates by 0.47%. Well, Zara grinned. Look who's finally embracing the primitive technology. The medical bay was filled with recovering patients, their crystalline forms now decorated with strategic strips of silver. Some had even started requesting decorative patterns in their tape applications, a development that both amused and exasperated Zara. Midi, update on progress, she asked. Treatment success rate holds at 99.3%. Current patients treated 47,892. Remaining patients requiring treatment 152,108. Number of regulations broken, I've stopped counting. VRX materialized beside them, geometric patterns arranged in what Zara had learned to recognize as pleased surprise. Dr. Chen, the High Council wishes to formally acknowledge the effectiveness of your solution. We may have been hasty in our initial assessment of human medical practices. Did that hurt to admit? Zara asked innocently. Only moderately, VRX replied, showing a surprising glimmer of humor. Though I must ask, do all human medical procedures involve adhesive materials? Wait until I show you what we can do with superglue, Zara muttered under her breath. Medi quickly interjected, I feel compelled to prevent that particular demonstration, doctor. The resulting paperwork would exceed even Veridian bureaucratic capabilities. 1 month later, Zara stood before the Veridian High Council. Trying not to laugh at the formal ceremonial roll of duct tape they'd placed on a crystalline pedestal. Dr. Zara Chen, VRX announced, the Veridian Collective officially recognizes your contribution to our species' survival. We hereby designate this adhesive implementation device as a Class 1 medical technology. It's just tape, Zara muttered. Furthermore, VRX continued, we've updated our medical protocols to include what we're calling the Chen principle. Sometimes the simplest solution is the correct one. Medi couldn't resist commenting. A remarkable achievement, doctor. Though I should note that Earth's duct tape manufacturers are reporting unprecedented backorders from Veridian space. Wait, what? Zara frowned. The Veridian Collective has apparently purchased Earth's entire supply for the next 3 years. They're also attempting to acquire the manufacturing rights. K-Till approached, now wearing a medical uniform adorned with decorative duct tape stripes. We cannot risk running out of this essential medical technology. We've already established a strategic tape reserve. Zara pinched the bridge of her nose. You do realize humans use this stuff for pretty much everything, right? Precisely why we must secure the supply chain. VRX nodded sagely. We've already developed quantum-enhanced storage facilities for optimal tape preservation. Dr. Medi chimed, I'm receiving reports of a black market for duct tape emerging in the Terran sector. Current street value 500 credits per roll. Zara looked at the ceremonial tape roll, then at the earnest faces of the Veridian Council, and finally burst out laughing. Well, I wanted to make medical history. I just didn't expect it to involve causing a galactic duct tape shortage. Indeed, VRX agreed. Though we prefer to call it emergency quantum matrix stabilization material now. Of course you do.